to 10. You're set up? Good to go?
Am I, is this, I can't see behind, I've got eyes in the back of my head. I mean, are the things on screen?
Yeah. Yep, you're all connected.
We're all connected up. Skoogings. Haven't got sound there, so I'll just do it. So, just a second. There we go. Right, yeah, so I'm Ben, I'm from Skoog. We were founded in 2009 and we make, well, we started off, we make this, which is a Skoog, which is a musical instrument, specifically created for kids originally, kids with disabilities, in terms of working with an extreme user group. We now got to the point we've launched a new Skoog. Okay. Shiny. It's very nice. Okay. We like him. And we started prior to things like Indiegogo and crowdfunding, so we've done traditional equity funding. We started off actually going through the original kind of university research kind of track. We've spun out. So I'm here to tell you kind of a bit of that story, maybe share some, maybe not wisdom, but experience, I think probably. But what I'd like to do first off, before I sort of get into the kind of story, I just want to show you a few clips of how Skoog is used and what its kind of applications are. And then we'll talk about it. And I'd like to finish with a demo and a play around with this and show you where it's got to. Okay? So I'll just play this, it's just a quick video of some clips of different people using Skoog. There you saw a range of different people using Skoog, young people, older people, and the key thing is that you saw some using cerebral palsy, vision impairments, autism, Clarence who's quadriplegic, lots of different people, and able-bodied people as well, so used in different ways. And so we started out with the express purpose of trying to create a new musical instrument to address the needs of children in education, particularly people who physically are unable to play a traditional instrument. Music's fantastic. I'm a passionate musician and believe that music should be part of everyday life, and I could soapbox about it all the time, but that's not what I'm here to do. But for, I mean, everyone really, if you can't physically know how to play a musical instrument, you have a disability. You can't access the thing. And if you actually have a physical disability or a cognitive impairment that makes it difficult for you, it's even harder. But very quickly before we move on, this was one of our first prototypes in the research phase. Okay? And one thing, just in this whole around the kind of Kickstarter, kind of Indiegogo thing that I was talking to someone earlier, I think it's quite hard for you guys now, because you expect people's prototypes to be a lot slicker now. Okay? So we're like, why was that not CNC? You don't just get a 3D printed somewhere and make it nice. We literally had a block of foam and some tennis balls stuck to it, and we're like, it works! Honestly, just believe me. Look at the, so yeah, it's harder now in a way. You can get things so much quicker, which is really interesting. But one of the things we started, we were working with, through schools and councils, we were embedded for 2 years in schools and hospitals and places across Scotland, working with the university, working with the target end users. And so we went through the process of really being out there and in the community. And again, I think with the kind of Kickstarter to go kind of make a revolution, sometimes people, I think it can be quite isolating in a way. Because it's so easy to actually get an idea, get some things going with that, and even get it funded. You don't, without ever having to leave, the comfort of your internet-enabled bedroom, right? You can do all these things. That I think presents challenges for people as well in development. Because when you're forced to get out there, when you actually have to get your product in the hands of users and test it and evolve it and work on the ground, that brings so much to the story. It's not that the Kickstarter making isn't amazing, just I think it brings new challenges for everyone. And you've really got to try and network and get out there. And it's something that, sorry, I've forgotten the lecturer's name in design. How can we kind of get this kind of problem of taking these fantastic ideas and really making them the products? And I think community is a big part of that. And things like this, meeting up with people, I mean, it's great to see so many people here, but I think it's a really important thing, being able to actually share your ideas and speak to people and get out there and do stuff. So we had 2 years of researching, and then we had that little block of foam. It worked, okay? But another thing I think that is about the whole sort of revolution side of things and making things. So this, if I had £1 for every time someone asked me, is there an Arduino inside it? Okay, no there is not, because we weren't working at that time. But everyone just assumes, so you made up with an Arduino? Like, no, I can't even spell Arduino, let alone, whatever, use one. But now you can, and that's fantastic. But one of the things that we were tasked with throughout the project was that in order to get to a product quickly, we had to use off-the-shelf sensor products. And that brought with it some challenges in terms of being able to try and work within the constraints of what's available and not just be able to go, well, I'll just build it, as you can do now, which is great. But what it did allow us to do with our first product with Skoog 1 was go to market really, really quickly. Because the off-the-shelf product was pre-CE tested, all the stuff was done with it, all the back end was done with it. It worked. It meant that we were tied to a single supplier, which is not great, particularly if they, change their pricing and things like that. And you're like, whoa, it used to cost a lot less. Anyway, so things change, but it's a really such a vibrant area now in terms of creating design stuff. But I think there are these range of challenges. So we went to market with the initial Skoog in 2009. We actually had the product then. It looked kind of like this with the color domes, and it's a new way of approaching music. It's a tactile device. Most technology, even traditional technology, and a quick note on that, instruments themselves, like a flute is technology, a cello is technology. And sometimes people get hung up on music technology being computer-based. Okay, instruments are technology, clothes are technology. Right? And that's coming full circle now in a way, with people making smart clothes and using smart materials and stuff, and that's kind of computerized and everything. That's all very exciting. But technology isn't just computers. Okay? And sometimes in our realm, when we're dealing with education and people in music, and some people get quite protective about their instruments. And they say that this is not a musical instrument. And I say, well, I say rude things, but I'm not going to say it. But it is. Anything that you can make music with is a musical instrument. There is no, you can make music with it. And it's down, music is something that is a human thing. It's a thing that people do. Okay? It's not actually defined by the things we make it. I don't know if you've ever seen the show Stomp, a big West End show, right? Been around for years. I'm a musical snob. I thought, yeah, that'd be really boring. And I went to see it the other day. Amazing, right? If you haven't seen it, if you have an interest in physics, acoustics, sound design, art, theatre, comedy, anything like that, go see it, it's brilliant. And just things like, so they do like a whole scene with just matchboxes, where they make a whole kind of concerto with percussive matchboxes, scraping, shaking, tapping, or doing different things. The matchbox is a musical instrument, okay? And it's technology applied in the field to make music. So we evolved this new technological musical instrument, this new approach that says you don't necessarily need lots of fancy notes and stuff. What is music about? And what do we need to enable access to music? So one of the key things about it was creating something that was an actual thing, a device, something people could own that had a personality. Tactile, something you could touch and hold and feel, that was really important. Connect yourself physically to the sound. And so we went to market in 2010. We had our product. We'd been through this kind of development phase, and we had all the stuff going. Manufactured in the UK, still manufacturing in the UK. It's quite expensive, but There are also real benefits to having manufacturing on hand. So last week we had to change something on the boards, which meant we could just nip over to Livingston and speak to the people and not worry about the fact that we've made a whole bunch that are now on a container that we need to change. So there are benefits to these things. And we went out, in order to manufacture it and start doing it, we went out and did traditional equity investing. A lot of people, when they see Skoog, see how it works and the impacts it has in the lives of kids and stuff, they go, oh, why don't we go on Dragon's Den? And it's like, yeah, no. You know that Dragon's Den is a format that's taken from the actual investment community and just televised. We've done many things like that, and actually, if there's anyone here, I mean, there's loads of great networks as well for VCs in Scotland, and particularly for startups in Scotland. Scotland has a really good community of kind of small to mid-level investors, so around the kind of 200 to 300, 500,000 pound mark to get something off the ground. So there are a lot of really great, bright, open-minded people. There are lots of meetings every week, every month. Things like Link, if you don't know it. It's a collection of VCs, and the thing to do, the thing that I would say to anyone thinking of getting into starting a business, or trying to find capital to start it, either through crowdfunding or not, is reach out to Scottish Enterprise, go to the Business Gateway, find the information. It's not easily available a lot of the time, but there's a lot of people out there to help. And as soon as you can get in there, people like Lorna from IBM, you'll have all the connections and stuff. And if people come to you, and you're like, yeah, no, I can help with this and this and this. And a lot of the time, people are working in these little isolated silos. And I think that that's particularly the case, I think, with kind of crowdfunding stuff as well, because we don't have to necessarily reach out. It's a great portal to reach people, which is amazing. So we did that. We raised equity investment. So far, we've raised about £800,000 through equity investment. Don't have any shares left myself because it's cool. It's all right. That's how it goes. And through the process of working, and we were very much a business to customer kind of. We were making direct sales. We were going out. In fact, the majority of them, there's nearly 2,000 Skoogs out in the wild, as it were. They retail at about £500. So it's quite an expensive item. It's more of an educational purchase, but it can enable everyone from someone with quite profound physical difficulties right through to kind of really able, and it's just a really fun thing. Be used by lots of people in school, so it's been a good investment for people. And a lot of those sales are almost face-to-face direct, which I've done. So we've had a lot of interaction with our user base, and through the years we've kind of we've had some press. We were Jackie Bird's fluff piece on the news several times and stuff. And we've been out there doing stuff, and trying to evolve our manufacturing, working with partners. And I suppose on the investment front, we were really lucky. We got some great supportive investors at the first actually from the first ever pitch that we did. The guys were in the room, but we did lots more, and they've helped us throughout the years. But one of the things that I would definitely advise is, not necessarily in terms of investors, but when you form a company and you're looking for people to be involved, people will come and offer help and mentorship, right? And you may be suspicious of them, okay? Because one, they may be old, right? And they say, ooh, do you? I mean, I'm quite old now. But get them involved. Having more experience on your board, or more experience around you as an entrepreneur, as an individual who's trying to get something done, it can only help you. It's not going to distract. And these people know stuff that you had no idea it existed, or you could do, or you could access, or even different applications for your technology, your idea, different ways of using it, ways to monetize it so that you can stay on your feet, you can achieve your goals, you can get to where you're going. You can help the people that you want to help. But yeah, be open to people who are trying to help you. There is also, we've experienced around the startup culture that's growing, there are also organizations that possibly maybe seem like they're trying to make money out of you. There are a lot of those. A lot of it in marketing around Indiegogo and Kickstarter. A lot of people trying to sell you kind of marketing campaigns and stuff. Some of them are genuine, some of them, and that's just the way it is. People are trying to make a living, trying to make money. So we did, we grew the product, and we do software as well. And we work very, very closely with our users to develop the product. When we first shipped Skoog, we played a couple of instruments, didn't do very much. But interestingly, because it was equity investment based, our investors were like, you need to get that out and sell it. Okay? We couldn't just say, oh, we'll get people to pre-order. It'll be okay. They're like, no, that's going on shelves, and we need to start making some money on this. But as a result of that, shipping it, you start to get the feedback, interaction with the customers, and we were able to evolve the product again, and the software, building the apps, make it do what people wanted it to do. And it's another thing. What? Just a little bit up. Oh right, you haven't got wide. All right, do I need? There's a purpose to this. Purpose. Yeah. All right. It's just when I do standards. Right. Okay.
I'm trying to be subtle there.
All right. No one wants to see. So, made me lose my train of thought now. I can't remember what I was talking about.
Shipping and interaction.
Shipping and interaction involving. So that got us to a point. We've had a lot of investment where we knew what we wanted to do next. And part of working with young people and working with people who didn't have possibly a pre-formed notion of music or how to interact with it, was to really sort of tap into this idea that, music is something that nearly everyone usually wants to do and is engaged with. It's around us all the time. And if we can provide something that enables you to interact with your music and play music without the need to learn the instrument or know how it works and stuff, which is just a pain. You can still do that if you want. You can evolve to that level. Then you're gonna. Then this was something we wanted to do. We weren't using the educational thing as a research base. It just kind of happened naturally. And there became these two ways that Skoog was being used. Skoog was being used very specifically for music therapy and in an educational environment to assist people with specific disabilities to achieve their dream of being a musician, playing in an orchestra, and doing these things. Okay, that was one way it was being used. Great, tick, done that, awesome. The other way it was being used was for fun, which is even better. Okay, people were actually having fun with this thing. And the way they were doing that was not by enduring kind of complicated music lessons, but just using it to play with the music that they loved, the stuff that your media loved, what you listen to. And the way that does that is one of the things that we did is, in terms of to play music, you need to not only be able to play the instrument, you've got to know what notes to use, where they fit and this kind of stuff. So we come up with a system with the object. It has 5 sides. We use pentatonic tuning with it. You can also do all kinds of other fancy stuff. One of the easy ways of using it is just tune it to the right scale, and you become basically free to improvise. And it enables you to interact with the music that you like, and just play with it. And you can jam along with Taylor Swift, which is what we're going to be doing in a minute. How much longer have I got? By the way, Simon?
Hold on.
Have I? Well, can I just do a bit on the Indiegogo?
I've been tweeting and
all right. So we got to the point where we kind of found out where we wanted to get to, right? And we were like, well, one of the things that we
really need to wrap up because we need to do the Q&A.
Okay. And then so instead of going around this sort of traditional equity kind of route, which is very, it can be a long process, involves a lot of progression, we decided to go on Indiegogo. And that was a real eye-opener for us. We did that, and we've run 3 campaigns so far. We've run one and failed pretty spectacularly. We then picked ourselves up. We got straight back on, and we run one, and we did really well. So that was successful crowdfunding. And we run a couple of ones that have been smaller, just to test things. Another thing I'll say about Indiegogo is it's really great for just testing ideas, testing marketing, and these kind of things. It doesn't necessarily have to be all about the product. You may already have a product, you just want to kind of get some more information, more interaction with people. One thing about Indiegogo, or Kickstarter as well, Kickstarter is slightly different, they're actually different, but Indiegogo, if you are thinking of doing one, there's so much good help online within the structure, the way it works. But one thing that's really important is be careful with your traffic and your PR and your marketing around it. Because one of the key things that you can do in order to kind of improve your ranking and everything is the conversion. So you may do really good PR. This is one thing that sort of was a problem with our first campaign. We did great PR, had loads of visitors, loads of traffic, and magazine articles, and people going, yeah, you're great. We're like, yeah, we're great, you're great too, yeah. Okay? But they weren't buying the thing. They were just going, yeah, it's fantastic. And as a result, that really messed with our kind of rankings and stuff as we go. Whereas at the same time we were very careful about who we actually sent to the Indiegogo page. You do your PR and stuff offline of the site, and you try and send just the kind of people you know are going to convert. And that enables you to really kind of raise your profile. It was a really, really useful kind of learning experience for us. So it's not all about getting coverage in the FT or the Times and stuff, or in Wired magazine or stuff. Actually, that can be difficult. What you want is that people are actually going to get your thing, get the idea, and then press contribute. So can I just finish with a very quick demonstration of where the product is now? Okay, but I'll be around afterwards so yeah. Equity funding, great, it brings a lot of good stuff with it, a lot of help, a lot of structure in getting you out there. Crowdfunding, so quick. And just to be able to see the results happen, fantastic, good for testing. Pros and cons in both, and there's no reason why you can't do both. One is not mutually exclusive, I would say, and I would say just get onto it. So this is the new Skoog, right? You'll notice that this one has one of these old-fashioned wire things. Yeah, they don't like that anymore. This one doesn't. This one has the magic of Bluetooth. So wireless is a really big thing for us, to be able to, not be tethered. And it now works with something, these little tablet devices, I believe they're called. So it now works with the iPad, it's wireless, so connect it up, hopefully. There we go, and there we go, immediately we can play. So the way I was talking about people playing with their media, so now with, people aren't even buying music anymore, you're just signing up, and be able to access everything for whether it's $5.99 a month, and that's great for music experience and culture. But what we can do is allow you to interact with all of that. So now we can, so I'm here in my Skoog app here, and I want to maybe listen to a bit of Taylor Swift here. Style, there we go. We'll play the tune. It's very nice. And this now is automatically. It's in tune. So immediately, all of my media is interactive. I can now play with it. I don't have to know scales. I don't have to know how to play an instrument. I can start creating, doing different parts. I can take it further. Skoog also works to control it for GarageBand. It's like a 7-dimensional, tactile, multi-faceted super interface, right? Get one now. But what mostly is it's fun, right? It enables kids to start being creative musically with music that they want to play, with material that's inspiring and engaging, and I think the buzzword is age appropriate, or culturally relevant. Okay, these are the two things we put in the grant applications. It's very important. But yeah, so, and that's been a long process, but I suppose the getting to this point through the crowdfunding and being able to test it, and this, evolving the app and testing with people is something that's come out of that, and it moved so quickly. So I think it was a real benefit to us on top of the more traditional kind of equity investment. But yeah, I could probably talk for 2 or 3 days, so probably stop there. Thank you for your time. I hope you found it interesting, and I think we'll have questions in a panel type of thing soon.
And do a panel type of thing. So with the speakers,